Hello, and welcome to IMARA Woman Magazine. I'm Wendy Brawley, and I am delighted that you tuned in for our 6th season. I'm also really happy to welcome back the best co-host in the world, Donna Ayers. To my far right, Marcia Brevard-Wynn, Ebony Looney, and Jessica Martinez.
Hey.
Well, ladies, are you ready for the 6th season?
Yes,
Definitely. Okay.
Definitely.
Well, you know, we left last fall with a very, I think, really appropriate topic. We were talking about livable wages and minimum wage increases. And ironically, that's the talk of the town in D.C. now.
We're so ahead of the curve.
We are ahead of the curve. But, you know, the broader issue to that is, you know, what Americans are saying about whether the country is headed in the right direction. And some folks think we are. Some say that we're not. According to the recent poll, the majority of people in America don't think we're headed in the right direction. What about you?
Well, according to an article from the New York Times, only 30% of Americans think that America is headed in the right direction. I'm still not quite sure. All I do know is that education has gone up. People are really going out there and getting their bachelor's degrees, and the major problem that I'm seeing is from employers is that they don't have enough qualified personnel, people that are, trained to do the job correctly. And so time will tell.
Yeah.
So I'm not really
It's
sure.
hard to get trained, though, if they're cutting off funding for you to go back and
but
and
when
get your education.
by them going to school, I think they'll be.
Yeah, if they can get in school and afford to, take the loans out that it takes to go to college these days, then, yeah, there'll be opportunity.
Well, what about the people who are still paying for their college?
Tell me about it.
I mean,
I just got liberated a few years ago and look at it right in my hand.
I mean, with the people who went to college and they still have those loans and they're trying to pay it off and they're trying to find jobs. So I mean, there's just like a disconnect with that, because when you're trying to pay off these loans and you're trying to climb out of that debt, and they're buying the houses and the cars, living the American dream, which seems to be being in debt. I can see how people can think it, it's pretty grim, and so they expect, that a president is going to miraculously, do things, when obviously there's some disconnect in Congress with the government shutdown, so people are unhappy, So, I mean, I'm happy, but I can see how, we're happy, yeah.
30%.
Yeah, but the thing is that sometimes, I think it's perspective.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It depends on what angle you're coming from. For things like health care and minimum wage, if I'm the person on the receiving end, if you're going to increase my wages, or if I'm going to now finally be able to afford health care, then great for me. I think the country's headed in the perfect direction.
Absolutely.
But for those employers who now are mandated to have to pay for health care or increased wages, that's hitting them in the pocket. So in their perspective, it's going in the wrong direction. So it is all about perspective.
It's very good. Interesting point about what you two brought up, as I've noticed in the larger dialogue now that we're starting to have a discussion about, do you really need a 4-year degree? Because of just what you said.
Exactly
right.
People are borrowing all this money to go through college, and they get out and they can't get a decent wage to help pay back those student loans. And to your point, there are some jobs that don't require a 4-year degree. You could go get,
jobs, yeah.
Tech training or very specific training offered by a company, like a manufacturer, that would help you do well, and in some cases make a higher hourly wage doing those types of jobs that don't necessarily
Well, what jobs are you
require-
talking about, I mean,
like manufacturing jobs, tech jobs, things that are very specific. Take Boeing, for instance. Not all those jobs require a college degree. It's manufacturing. They're assembling airplanes, like that kind of thing. So it's interesting that the discussion has moved towards that because of the debt and people unable to find jobs. Do you really need that 4-year degree?
I heard an interesting statistic a few months ago, and that kind of threw me, and that was that a lot of folks who are in school now will never be able to afford a home.
Really?
Well, their debt is so
Because
high,
their
paying back those
debt
student
is so
loans.
high. So this will be a generation potentially of college-educated individuals, some of them with terminal degrees, who will not be able to afford.
So
to
why
buy
do
a
we
home.
see so many ads for colleges? I mean, I've seen so many ads for colleges. I see colleges, popping up here in South Carolina. the advertising for colleges are just very interesting.
Yeah, and you're right. People are going.
People are
they're
going, yeah.
going to college, and they're taking out these loans, but they're struggling when it comes time to pay them back. When they're getting jobs that don't pay adequately enough for you to pay back your loan, live, and then make a car payment or whatever the case may be, which are in some instances essentials. So you have people who won't be able to, they say, afford a home in their life.
Some people who've lost jobs, they're going back to school to be retrained in a trade, and they're incurring more debt in that regard,
That's
hoping
true.
to make their situation better.
So, I guess you can see why some people might say, oh, we're heading in the wrong direction, but the economic indicators say otherwise. All of the economic indicators say that employment is better now than it was 4 years ago. People are finding jobs, that people are excited, those who are getting health care and those who are able to keep their kids on their policies while their kids look for jobs, after they've graduated from college. The stock market is at a record high. Even when it's had a bad day, it's still the highest number that we've ever seen.
Which is great if you own stocks.
But we have been told that the market drives the industry. The market drives our economy. But what's happening is people are keeping their profitability, and they're not sharing. I think you mentioned it last season. We got some greedy people. And a lot of times they're the ones that are running a lot of these major companies, and they're using the profit instead of reinvesting in their people by providing benefits and the like. So I don't know. I mean, I think we are better off, and I think we are headed in the right direction, but it's a slow crawl.
That's also based on the party, because the Republicans may think we're going in the wrong direction because they're so anti-Obama.
Yeah.
So some things, I don't agree with everything that Obama has done. I think he has done some things in the right direction, but they're so politically party divided. Our congressmen are. I mean, that's having a great impact
Scary,
right
yeah.
there. He can say the sky is blue, they're going to say it's green. They're going to say the
Isn't it like that
opposite
with
of what he
most
says
presidents?
regardless.
I think that was going to be my point when we started talking about our topic of why I think we're moving in the wrong direction. So everybody knows I am a Republican.
Don't hold that against you.
It's the polarization of this country.
Right.
Republican versus Democrat, haves versus have-nots. I've really seen that over the past couple of years that divide continue to get bigger. And it's troubling to me, and I think
That is very
we
troubling.
lack leadership, and it's not just President Obama. I think we have seen a dearth of leadership for a long time now. And so one of the things that I would like to see is a little less polarization.
Exactly.
Well, to do that, though, you have to find a common ground, and to find common ground, you have to listen and really meet a person halfway.
We got to think about the
You
good
know,
of the country as
right,
a whole and
instead
not be
of,
so
you know,
individualistic.
Some of what I'm seeing, what I have been seeing, is just a total reluctance to go along with anything that this administration, provides. Anything that they try to push forward, there's pullback
There's
on the other
pullback
side.
on, and that's to our
Even when
disadvantage.
it's something that they've recommended, and that to me is, I think, part of the reason why people think the country is heading in the wrong direction.
That's a big part.
Because of the polarization.
And sometimes the big business behind that, the lobbyists who work for the big business, who push the congressmen and the people who
Give them
pay.
money.
Yeah, give them money.
It is about
to
money.
put them in the
Money.
office. I mean, maybe certain congressmen or certain lawmakers, they want to do the right thing, but they have to, they have to listen to their
Their
big
special
business
interests
and stuff
that
like
they're-
that.
yeah.
So,
It's
maybe
kind of interesting that
it's
you would
just-
say that, because I guess that's why I'm no longer elected to anything. But, you really ought to listen to the constituents. It's the people that put you there. Those individuals, those corporations don't vote.
but
They
they
can
pay.
give you
But
money.
they pay.
They can give you money,
Yeah.
but people can win by listening to people. America is hungry for that kind of leadership. I really believe that's why the president won in 2008, was because he had a groundswell of regular folks having conversations in their kitchen and in their barber shops and the beauty salons. And people need that instead of always thinking that their elected officials, their first thought, their first loyalty is to the corporate community.
Exactly.
And not to the people that put them there.
It'd be nice if
That's
everybody
my
thought
soapbox
that.
for
Exactly.
today.
It'd be nice
And
if
speaking of
everybody
money,
thought
speaking of
that.
money, we got to take a quick break and stay with us. We'll be right back.
Oh, those boys are much too much. Those boys are much too much. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We got the spirit. We're hot. We can't be stopped. We're gonna beat them and bust them.
The smallest moments can have the biggest impact on a child's life.
Let's get a little bit rowdy. R-O-W-D-Y.
Take time to be a dad today. Call or visit fatherhood.gov to learn more.
Those boys.
Welcome back to the show, ladies. It's 2014, and this is our first time together since the new year came in. So what's new with everybody, and what's your new inspiration for the new year?
I'll let somebody else.
We all looked at you.
I'll jump
go
in
ahead.
for me.
We know what you're up to.
This is going to be a fascinating year for me because my daughter is finally graduating from college in May, so I'm going to be a true empty nester.
Oh,
so I'm
congratulations.
looking forward to a new chapter. She's going to be going to college in Florida, so I got to see what I'm going to do with myself for all the rest of the year. So
Oh, that's
it's
exciting.
The possibilities are exciting, and I'm looking forward to it.
Especially visiting her in Florida.
We might have to all get down there and help her get moved.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
We'll party.
The more the merrier.
Well, we're empty nesters now, and we love it.
Oh, wait a minute now.
Love it. Someone asked me at the end of last year, what was my what's next? And I kind of had that deer in the headlight look, like, but I really want to push what we do here out to more people, because I think it's so needed. Just a conversation of a safe zone for women to and men, because men, they might not admit it, but they watching us. So I'm excited about this season and anything that we do to involve the communities that we serve.
That's great.
Well, I'll share.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm in a safe zone.
We only talk about you when you leave.
Oh, okay, like a real friend. Well, this year, I want to get back on the health bandwagon, or taking care of my health. So I've been doing a lot of running and exercising. Of course, working, the other stuff, but just kind of, taking care of me, because as I get
that's
older, I'm in my 30s. I'll be 34, 35.
Oh,
you were so young.
Oh, she is in her 30s.
But it's so important because although I am young, the statistics show that for my age, there's a lot of diabetes and among African American women, and health disease, and so in my family. So I thought I need to take care of myself, and last year I had surgery, and so just trying to keep myself healthy and just stay balanced as I just deal with life. And so far I've just been loving it. Just in
Well, you look great.
Now we don't have any children, so I guess we're empty nesters. I don't know what that. But
Well, see, my youngest is 23, and I'm still carrying a little baby fat.
It's
I love
okay,
that.
It's okay. It's all about just being healthy and just moving, and just that's where my headspace is right now, because I feel like I guess being down for the surgery, I just started to really think
about your health.
the little
Yeah.
things that, man, I can't do this. So being able to move and just breathe and just be alive.
I tell you, that really is.
That's
It's great inspiration too.
Start now.
What's going on with you, Jessica?
Well, quite a few things, but I definitely am finishing my bachelor's degree.
Very good.
And I want to go get my master's after
you.
that. And basically this year I have made up my mind. I'm not taking it no more. And
Okay.
that's all I'll say.
Okay.
I'm living life on my terms, and that's all I have to say about
So we
that.
better watch out.
All right.
We better not mess with Jessica this year.
It's great. Oh, the pressure. I have been doing a lot of reflection over the past couple of months about career and maybe making a change. I've been involved in politics for the past 15 years. That's how I've made a living. But I'm a Pisces, and I feel like that whole creative thing doesn't always get fulfilled. Change is very hard for me, just like most Republicans.
I wasn't
So,
gonna say.
I just beat you to it. I am trying to be more open to embracing change.
Oh, good. That's great. Change you can believe in.
Yeah, yeah, uh-oh.
Well, another thing I'm trying to do this year is get back into the dating scene.
Oh.
That is so
Spicy.
foreign to me, and it is so odd. I do a relationship segment on my Facebook page, as many of you know.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
What is
Dating
it
is
called?
quite.
What is it segment?
Let's just keep it real.
I love it.
So I love the interaction, the back and forth, because there are lots of men and women who do things on the page. But dating is quite interesting after not dating for 22 years. It's a
Well, I
whole-
wish getting into the
it's a
dating scene
whole-
was a new thing for me. I think that like every year I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll find somebody.
Well, I'll tell you.
Trade tips, maybe.
Well,
Well, let me tell you, as somebody who's never been married, and I turned 40 this year.
Well, you look
The
good
thing,
too.
yeah.
the thing that really strikes me is 10 years ago, all my friends said, you know, don't settle. He's out there. You're going to find him. And somewhere in that decade, it shifted to you're too picky.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, we'll
But
talk
my
about that.
thing
That's
is,
another
listen,
topic.
I waited this
Oh,
long.
that's
You might as
real,
well
yeah.
get what you want.
That is a
Yeah,
great
that sounds like a
topic.
segment right
Well,
there.
I firmly believe there is opportunity out there for people. I mean, I've been
You just have to be
married for
patient.
34 years, but, you know,
And Wendy got a good man.
And then we have to go to a break.
good timing.
We have to go to a break, but coming next, we're going to be talking about amor, love. So stay tuned.
Body language can tell you all sorts of things. Like someone is having a stroke. Know the sudden signs. Learn fast. Face drooping, arm weakness, speech difficulty. Time to call 911 and get them to a hospital immediately. Learn the body language and spot a stroke fast.
Well, welcome back. You know, this is the perfect time to introduce our guest. You heard all that love talk.
I did.
And they tell me that you are a love lifestyle coach.
That's what they tell me.
Welcome to our show.
Well, you need to be looking
Angela.
over here.
I know. We got a couple of them. Hold up, ladies. Let me introduce you. They're anxious. Welcome to our show, Angela Carr-Patterson, the Love Lifestyle Coach. So, Angela, we are so happy to have you with us today.
I'm happy to be here with you ladies. You're having a great time. Thank you for having me, Wendy.
Well, Love Lifestyle Coach, that brings to mind so many things. Tell us a little bit about what it is that you're coaching people on as it relates to love.
Well, what I do is I actually help women transform their relationships with love and money. Basically, men and money, because nothing causes a woman more grief and pain in life than a man and some money.
Yes.
You talk to a woman any length of time, it will always boil down to either a man or some money. You're either trying to keep the love you have, get rid of the love you don't want, or try to find new love. Or you're trying to keep the money you have, earn more money.
Yes.
You make money, but you can't keep it.
Preaching.
And
I told you they were going to be all over.
because money and love ties into a woman's value system. And the same emotional triggers that impact your relationship with money also impacts your relationship with love. So if you have issues, and we call them patterns, and we all have them, because 80% of our emotional programming is in place by the time we're 8 years old. So what's driving your life, your patterns, the way you see the world, the way you view yourself, the way you show up in the world, is all being driven from that emotional programming that was seeded in you between birth and 8. By the time we're 18 years old, another 15%. So by the time we're 18, we're working with 95% programming that's been pre-love, basically, and you're trying to make love work. Because I'm sure you can remember who taught you how to tie your shoe. You can remember who taught you how to ride a bike, or who taught you how to drive a car. But who taught you how to love? We learn love through what we see modeled in front of us. And for most of us, that's not really, it hasn't been too functional. And then if you're from my era, then actually mama and daddy was, the currency in that relationship was not, I wish Billy spends more time with me. No, Billy needs to go to work and make money and put some food on the table and some clothes. So it wasn't about I needed him to spend more time. Well, let's fast forward. We're now coming to understand who we are as women. Something is trying to emerge in us, with us, through us, and we no longer want to settle for, like you say, as is. You know how you have the table by as is? We don't want to settle for that anymore. We want love. We want to be successful in the bedroom and the boardroom. We want to be successful in love and money. But the only way we're going to be able to do that is that we're able to retrace our lives beyond our mother's womb and understand who we are. Who we are. The true essence, become more authentic. Because all of our relationships are a reflection of who we are. So if you want to know where you are, look at your life. Look at what's showing up. Look at the kind of men that are showing up. They are a direct reflection of who we are. So we go back.
Might be the right person out there.
So you go back and you do the work. You've heard Iyanla say you gotta do the work. You gotta go back and erase the programming that no longer serves you. You gotta go back and reprogram that 95%.
How do you do
That's
that?
what I teach
wanna
you
know.
how to
that's
do.
what you
okay.
you gonna be
And that's what I teach you how to do. And when you are able to really show up as your authentic, true self and your value system, you value who you are. You've got to rewrite your own love story, but with yourself. And that's more than going to the spa. That's more than getting a massage and getting a makeover. It's truly about internal work. And until you do the internal, the external will stay the same. You can lose weight, you can get a makeover, and you will still keep attracting the same man. You'll still make $200,000 a year and be broke at the end of the year. Because the same emotional triggers that impact your relationship with men impact your relationship with money. So you gotta deal with what's inside. And that takes work. That takes being transparent with yourself. That takes telling the truth to yourself about yourself. It really does. And that's not necessarily easy. And where are these patterns coming from? These patterns of behavior. But one thing I want to make sure you understand is you are not your patterns. Okay? You are magnificent. You are divine. You are amazing, dynamic. You are not your patterns. Patterns can change. There's nothing wrong with you. We have not awakened into who we really are, our divine, magnificent self. There is in the mind of God a perfect image of who we are. And that image would never go away. You know when you look in the mirror, every now and then you get a glimpse of it and you say, wow, I'm a bad member. But then you shrink back and you play small. And then but then we shrink back and we play small. But it never goes away because it's natural to your system. And it's an undeletable file. And all you have to do is just align yourself and begin to source your life, fuel source, and live your life from that space. And watch the magic happen.
I was like, wow, what do I do? See, I started doing actually true self-reflection after my divorce. I took like 2 years just to get to know me and get in tune with me and pull back the layers.
Absolutely.
That was a tough thing to do, but it was very necessary. So now I do present my authentic self to those around me. The world sees the authentic me. I offer no apologies for anything, like it or leave it. I don't care.
Absolutely.
That doesn't matter to me anymore. But and financially and otherwise, all those things are in place. But now I'm finding that what's being attracted to me no, I don't know. It could be because my standards are too high. And I'm not going to lower them, but I'm not going to lower them, but so much because there are, at the age I am now and the true me, there are certain expectations I have. I'm not going to lower the bar just for you to meet that. If you want me, you got to meet that level. And I don't think they're outrageous expectations for anybody. But what I'm finding, and I need to get myself out there more. That's another part of the process in finding the true me. to meet that soulmate that I'm seeking, it's not because I'm presenting myself in the wrong way. I think I keep it classy. I come across as classy. That's the kind of person I am. It's just certain riffraff or certain
No
people come out
scrubs,
of
she's
the
saying, no
woodwork
scrubs.
who really aren't ready for me. They're presenting themselves in the wrong way. They're coming at me the wrong way. But it's not because I'm putting that vibe out there for you to come at me that way. So it's a turnoff, and that's why I say the dating thing it's hard because of that.
Well, you know, I hear what you're saying. I want to applaud you for doing the work, doing the work first and going back to reflect. So what happens is we are all energy, and whatever we project out there, energy. Sometimes we don't understand that we're projecting something because we have blind spots. Patterns create blind spots in us. That's why it takes someone else to help you show you the blind spots and become aware. That's not to judge yourself, because awareness is good. Awareness gives you the ability to make new choices. So when you show up differently, you may be radiating something that you're not conscious of.
And
that
that
could be a
because
blind
you said
spot.
that,
Yeah.
There's some male friends, real friends, who I've asked that question, and they've given me a male perspective on it, and it just opened my eyes.
Absolutely.
They told me certain things
I
about.
wish we had more time. You gotta come back.
I will.
We need some love coaching.
I will come back.
Thank you so much. But
for
before you
having
leave,
us.
get out of here, I want you to at least tell us the title of your book, so we can.
My book is called I'm Not That Woman, A Fatherless Daughter's Journey to Being. A fatherless daughter is a woman who grew up with an unattached, unavailable, or absent father. And that presents a lot of patterns in our lives that we're not aware of. So you can get it on Amazon. You can get it off of my site, AngelaClarkPatterson.com.
Well, stay where you are, because we've got some highlights for you from the IMARA Anniversary and Scholarship Gala. We celebrated 14 years of the publication, and we want you to see it. Well, that completes our show today. We hope that you enjoyed it and that you learned something that both inspires and empowers you.
You can get a subscription to IMARA Woman magazine or subscribe to our e-magazine online at IMARAwoman.com.
Don't forget to like IMARA Woman Magazine on Facebook.
And follow IMARA Woman Magazine on Twitter.
Well, until the next time, peace and blessings.